I can't find the words to explain to you how good these pro gamers are.
He's actually stimming his units as he leaves the base. He's trying to get so many other players' face that there's not even time for the Bailings to finish.
Now he was, but his army split up. He's got one attack on the right-hand side, another chasing down the army. Storms come down!
These are the best of the best in esports history. And Hux starting to blink forward as the Zealots are removed. The supply goes in Hux's favor.
So much energy. Where did that energy come from? Tanks desperately trying to target fire down Queens.
The Archon's moving forward. A lot is going down here, and only Colossus left over.
He's starting to get some feedbacks down. He's starting to advance forward. Another vortex.
There's the blink forward, trying to get underneath those brood lords. Oh, he sends the vortex.
Are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, hello from the MLG studios here in New York City, and welcome back to the Winter Season Showdowns. My name is axeltoss. I am joined by axslav. What a good day. Another great day of Heart of the Swarm, best of fives. To see who goes to Dallas. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. It's great to be Friday. It's great to, see another great ESF match. Of course, this will be the last of the ESF match qualifiers for Dallas. After tonight, we'll know every single one of the ESF players that are going to be at Dallas. Just the Indie West, independent Koreans and North Americans, and of course the Grubby Damaga, Sen Moonglade. A lot of great matches in store for us today, though.
Yes.
Great one.
DRG versus JJakji. Yes, it's gonna be an amazing best of five, guys. So you should get on the social media stuffs and do your little typing stuff. Tweeting is good that this is going on. Reddit, you can. I don't know if the thread was made, so maybe if you're the first one to make a thread and everyone likes your title, of course, don't make any spelling mistakes, or it probably won't get upvoted. You can do that. Of course, you can get on Team Liquid. There's a thread up right now on Team Liquid that you can go participate in the conversation. So talk about this match. Tell everyone how excited you are, because again, it's DRG versus JJakji, a TVZ best of 5 in Heart of the Swarm, to decide who gets that all-expenses-paid trip to the Winter Championships in Dallas, Texas on March 15th. I think we have a card that actually communicates to you which individuals have already qualified, and I would love to take a look at that. Of course, here it comes on your screen. Look at these names. Of course, I don't think this is including the 4 that already qualified.
No, it is not.
Right, so the 4 that are not on this list are Flash, Lenok, Bomber, and Life. So when you're doing your calculations in your mind, keep those guys in your head. But look at these names, man. Are you kidding me? All these guys in one place playing in one tournament.
It's a lot of skill.
Yes.
Very condensed skill. I mean, what draws my eye is of course, there's that little at the upper right hand of the screen, or upper left, excuse me. There's this 4 Protoss triumvirate, or I guess it would be a quadumvirate, whatever.
Square?
Yeah. We'll call it a Protoss
I don't know what
square.
you're looking for, Nick, but I'm trying to help.
I was going to say Rain, Pardon, Hero, and Sase, too. I mean, just the Korean trading behind those 4 players, and especially the Kespa guys there. A lot of really strong Protoss players. I mean, of course, they're strong from every race, but that's just what...
It's just a ridiculous set of players there. Of course... If you're seeing those names, you're like, wait a second, I missed that match. I missed Thorzan's qualification match. He plays Sake, by the way. That was a great match. It's available right now on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/official MLG SE2. I missed the Marine King match. I missed the Baben match. It's all there on our YouTube channel. All you have to do is go to the channel, and then you can search their names and whatnot, and you can find the matches, so you can see specifically how they qualified. You can see what builds they used, how convincing they look. Some of those guys look really convincing, and it's actually scaring me a little bit on how good they could potentially be when they have a month to prepare for the Dallas event. So, that kind of leads us to what's going on today and what's been going on this week. Of course, as you said before, we're rounding out the ESF matches. Nesty versus Creator was the first one. Of course, you can read down the list there. And Zerg is not doing incredibly well in the Korean region, but there came a Zerg who stood above the rest and said, you know what? I don't care that the statistics are mounted against me. I am Dongraegu. We'll have to see if he can can turn the fortunes around a little bit for the Zerg race. If anyone could, it's probably him. He's kind of good at StarCraft 2.
That's a little bit of an understatement.
Yeah.
Dongraegu is good at StarCraft 2 like Michael Jordan was good at basketball. I mean, this guy is look at that smile. He is that confident. He knows that he's a master of the game. He's
even a target
expert
on his head.
Exactly. Because everyone wants to knock this guy down, because if you beat Dongraegu, that means you are a world-class player. Of course, JJakji. He has one thing Dongraegu doesn't have.
He has a white and red jacket on.
Yes, and he has a GSL Codes Championship title. Dongraegu's won a lot of events. He hasn't quite won that one to my recollection.
Didn't he beat Genius in the final?
He did, okay.
Yeah.
You're right.
That's okay.
They each have a GSL Codes Champion. Even better, I always forget.
I mean,
I forget that basically every player we've had in the last week, we've had like GSL champion, GSL champion, GSL champion, GSL champion. I was trying to find one player.
It gets mixed up a little bit.
There's so many of them, man.
Now JJakji, a little bit about him. He was the guy who was like, he was in a round of 8 of the GSL that was just so ridiculous as far as names were concerned. Everyone's like, every other name is probably going to win except this guy who no one knew much about. Of course, JJakji coming from NSOCO, and he comes and rolls over everyone and wins that championship. So JJakji's a guy who people are watching like, oh, DRG is going to win. This is going to be a 3-0. JJakji's a guy, it's a mistake if you like ignore this guy or pretend he's not good at StarCraft 2 and pretend that he won't give DRG a run for his money. I think this is going to be a very close match.
It is. I mean, JJakji's, he's always struggled with his TVT more than other matchups. And then that one GSL, even while, you know, people were discounting him because he hasn't had those results. But he had that road where you have to encounter the Terrans. And I don't care how good of a Protoss Zerg you are. You're going up against JJakji. This guy is just an absolute beast. And, I mean, the Grand Finals, his TVZ is just, it's mind-blowing. At least it was in Wings Liberty. Heart of the Swarm.
Heart of the Swarm.
A lot of people are saying Tyranny is even better against Zerg now.
They have some good things in Heart of the Swarm that they didn't necessarily have in Wings of Liberty. A lot of nice little tools and tricks and toys they can play with. And the metagame conversation right now is, oh my gosh, Zerg can't win. DRG, let's see what he has in store for us. I feel like if anyone can win, it's probably him.
It is. He's very, very versatile, very good at multitasking. I almost just want to jump right in
enough
here
enough jibber jabbering. It is time, ladies and gentlemen. I just tweeted, by the way. You can go retweet that at axeltoss. Of course, you can find me there. Axslav is there at axslav. Get people in here right now because this match, I feel like it's going to be phenomenal. Of course, here we are in game number 1. The map is Akalon Wastes. The game is Heart of the Swarm Beta. In the bottom right-hand location, we have the Blue Zerg player from Team MVP. He is the defender of the Zerg race, Dongraegu. His opponent in the top left, the red Terran player who is considered an underdog in his GSL championship run. But he said no to the haters. I will win. And that he did. Some people consider him an underdog here today against his opponent. He is JJakji.
JJakji is he's a really interesting Terran because, like you said, everyone always counts him as an underdog, but he's just so good. You know, he hasn't really quite. I mean, Wings of Liberty, he was always haunted by weaker TVT, and you know that's something that being in Korea, which is so Terran heavy, is very, very, very tough road to beat. I think if he was in more European or international events, he would have done just mind-blowingly, you know, good. But he didn't travel to very many events, whereas you know, DRG has all that experience, but that could play both ways here. DRG, of course, has more experience playing in MLGs and stuff, but JJakji might have that hunger, right? He says, you know what? You've had your chance to travel the world. I've only gone outside Korea a couple times.
Yep.
Now is my chance. You know, it's a new game. This is one of my best matchups. And look at that, going Command Center first. Very bold move. I love Command Center first TVZ. I think
shows confidence.
It does, and it's honestly, I think it's the way to go. I mean, like, what are you gonna do? Build a barracks, then have a later command center? What are your 1 or 2 birds gonna do? Nah, no. True Terrans go command center first, or they're proxying to barracks.
Yeah,
right? You got to do one or the other.
One or the other. Of course, DRG going to spot this out without too much trouble. Also sees that gas being taken there by JJakji. So it's not like he's going to delay his. It's not like he's going to delay his gas too much, getting that gas already, or delay the tech, I should say. Meanwhile, back home, DRG not taking a gas just yet, putting down that hatchery in the spawning pool. Probably going to take a fast third. That would be a logical follow-up behind seeing such a fast natural expansion from your opponent. Definitely going to prioritize queens and drones at this point. Just going to make a couple lings there to try to get some map control and get rid of that scouting SCV. But this is a game that's already setting up to go into the mid game, which couldn't really be said yesterday, to be completely honest.
That's definitely fair. Marine King loves to knock out his opponents early with those Hellbats. JJakji is going factory as well, so he might have some Hellbats on his mind, or maybe just plain old regular Hellions, perhaps Widow Mines, perhaps even going straight to a Banshee, although I think he'd probably be starting second gas if that was the case. We'll have to see what he has in store for us, but it looks like it's going to be at least as an opening volley, a couple Hellions, just to take that map control, push the speed, push the slow Zerglings away, and just see what DRG's up to, because right now, JJakji doesn't really know what's going on very well, right? I mean, he doesn't know exactly how his opponent's, he knows, you know, he
saw the lack of a gas.
He did,
which is a decent amount of information.
But that was early on in the game. He doesn't know. I mean, DRG could be going straight to roaches right now, or he could be taking a third base right now, straight to lair. And that's the idea of these Hellions. Is he taking a third base? Are there roaches out? If there's no third base and no roaches, you can safely assume probably going straight to lair.
Yeah, DRG going to hold off on the third for now. Going to be extending that creep. Of course, the closer you can get the creep to your third, or the faster you can do that, the faster you can take that third, so you can actually defend it once those Hellions come along. Also taking those gases, and again, prioritizing that drone count. Looks like he has 4 queens on the field, so yeah, getting 4 queens out, so really wants to go for that heavy creep spread, which is fun to see. Always like seeing maps covered in creep. Of course, it's going to be up to JJakji to make sure it doesn't get too crazy, sending those 2 Hellions forward as we speak. And if they're not
look at this follow-up. Triple Tech Lab Barracks Marauders Stimpack on the way. This could be a Hellion Marauder push, and you know what makes this build insanely strong is if you actually added an armory as well into a Hellbat Marauder push. We'll see if JJakji is going to go for that or not. I'm not sure if he quite has the gas if he wants to crank out a ton of Marauders. But Hellbat Marauder is so hard for Zerg to stop as a build. I mean, Zerg struggle versus Hellion Marauder in Wings of Liberty. It's a very strong TVZ rush type build. So if you do that but make the Hellions buff, basically, right, in terms of the Hellbat mode, it's just extremely difficult for Zerg to deal with.
Armory is in production. Of course, you need that armory to make those Hellbats, or at least to transform the Hellions into Hellbats. Roachhorn is about halfway complete. It's important to note DRG was able to scout the 2 additional tech labs from his opponent. Now, he could probably guess they were barracks. I mean, 2 factors at this point I don't think is incredibly likely.
He knows exactly what's coming at him.
Yeah.
And I mean, the question is what's he going to do about it? I think you almost have to go like,
I don't know,
roach baiting, or he looks like he's just going to try to mass speed roach. And you know what? If he gets speed and on creep, he can micro round. That can work. The problem is in a straight-on fight, the Hellbats will beat the roaches, and with concussive shell, it can be hard to kite them. But with really good creep spread, the combination of the speed upgrade on the roaches and the creep spread, I think he'll be able to kite the Hellbats. And once the Hellbats are down, he can just go swarm over the Marauders with superior roach count.
I mean, as long as he can just overwhelm with units, I think that should be what DRG goes for.
Talking about overwhelming.
Oh my god. JJakji bringing the SCVs. He wants to end his opponent right now. Queen overextending just a little bit. Need to transfuse each other to stay alive, but no. Not going to be enough. JJakji taking everyone off guard, charging to his opponent's natural expansion, and DRG hastily trying to get those units out on the field. Going to be engaging from the top of the ramp, but look at those Hellions transform into the Hellbats. You don't want to run drones in there because then the Hellbats will destroy them, but DRG has no choice, and JJakji, can he take a quick game 1?
Oh, looks like it. The Hellbats are just killing absolutely everything. Roaches, drones, queens, it doesn't matter. The Marauders backing them up with extra damage. The SCV's in the front to buffer.
GG.
That was just looks almost unstoppable.
Zerg players are shivering in their boots, and Terran players are going like this because they just saw that build, and you're going to see that on the ladder. JJakji with a nicely executed timing attack there, and this begs the question, what do you do against that? How do you stop it as a Zerg player?
I mean, you gotta have Banelings. That's, I mean, the Roaches, I've actually done it a couple times in ladder, and I haven't lost with it yet, but I think if the Zerg can get a lot more units out, with the Banelings can kill the SCVs and the Hellbats, maybe that can work. I mean, the thing is, Hellbats aren't even that bad against Banelings, as long as you spread them a bit. But they're worse versus Banelings than they are versus everything else, right? Just because they're not bad, it's still the best option. But the Roaches just don't. I mean, Roaches aren't going to beat Hellbats.
Was this the build that was the controversy behind David Kim's post? Do you remember that?
Oh,
that
yes. Yes.
Was that the build he was talking about?
It could be.
It could be.
Some variation.
I'm trying to remember the post.
Yeah. You can do it versus Protoss too. Force Field and Photon Overcharge makes it a little bit harder, but on opener entrance to natural, it actually works pretty well versus Protoss too.
Of course, what makes it so strong is just supplementing the Hellbats with the Marauders. It's like,
and the SCVs.
And the SCVs, of course, like what composition kind of deals with that. Nick says incorporate those Banelings. So JJakji taking a very quick game 1 over DRG. Is that one of the things you can do throughout the series?
I think he might.
Maybe.
Just keep doing it.
We'll have to see if he does, and we'll have to see if DRG can react a little bit better than he did in this game. Guys, stay tuned. You're watching a best of 5 in Heart of the Swarm between DRG and JJakji. Winner of this best of 5 goes to Dallas. JJakji currently up 1-0. Stay tuned.